What would you say is the saddest movie of all time? Testament, Cold War-era anti-nuke film. Our small California town gets hit by nuclear fallout and people, especially children, start dying off. Wrong candidates are Jane Alexander frantically searching the house for her dead son's teddy bear, and a young Kevin Costner having to use a bureau drawer as a makeshift coffin for his toddler daughter. I watched this one Polish movie a few years ago, where it showed the villagers' point of view toward the end of W2, with light Russian and German troops moving through, and neighbors turning on neighbors. Man, it was dark. I can't even remember the title, but it won some awards and stuff. I almost feel like some things shouldn't be filmed. It will burn a scar. 5 centimeters per second. Works like a hammer on the shattered pieces of heart, pulverizing the remaining pieces you might be holding onto for some kind of silly hope. An anime movie hard hitting on the reality of love, the whole process of promises fading in the distances, and the stages of grief to the point of acceptance. These are both very old films, but certain scenes will still floor me each time. Mr. Skeffington, 1944. When Betty Davis finally realizes just how much Claude Rains adores her, despite everything. Affair to Remember, 1957. When it finally dawns on Cary Grant as to why Deborah Kerr wasn't at their appointment. The Champ, 1979. Billy Flynn is an ex-champion boxer. He was cowed by booze and gambling. When the wealthy, estranged mother of his young son begins trying to lure the boy away from him, Flynn must return to the ring to provide for his child. Penny Serenade. Sure, it has a happy ending a la 1930s Hollywood, but it tears your heart out getting there. A comedic description. If anyone ever has the stomach for it, Martyrs 2008 is otherworldly. It's so graphic, raw, and incredibly sad. It's an extremely gory French film. But past the gore, the story is so depressing. Really good ending though, lol. Probably Hotel Rwanda, just because of the horrifying situation. I might be wrong. But no way am I watching that movie again, so I can't double check. I will just throw that one out there into the Reddit. Ordinary people, the disintegration of a once happy family. So easy to vilify certain characters in the movie, but we only see the trauma through the son's eyes, not the parents. Absolutely gut-wrenching. Only time I cried during a movie, Logan, 2017. Though it was more about Hugh Jackman being done as Wolverine than it was Wolverine just dying. Then they announced he'd return for Deadpool 3, lol. The Book Thief. It was one of the first, if only, movies I've seen about the war where it just ends in complete devastation. No heroes. No love story. No happiness. Just then end everything. Watership Down as a child. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That movie captures the feeling of having broken up with someone perfectly, even if it's not a sad movie per se. The Fox and the Hound. I watched it when I was little, and I didn't really understand it. I watched it last year, I believe, and I decided that I don't ever want to watch it again. I sub when I watch Interstellar. The idea of him missing his children's lives, and then seeing his child on her deathbed in old age, just hits me deep in the mum feels. The father, Anthony Hopkins, is amazing in the titular role, but it's Olivia Colman's portrayal of his daughter's anguish that tears at my heartstrings. Life is Beautiful. It's a movie in Italian about World War II. The first part starts as a comedy, and it makes it all the more heartbreaking as it goes on. My Life with Michael Keaton. I cried so hard my then boyfriend, now husband, came over and thought someone in my actual family had died. Mr. Holland's Opus. Shadowlands, The Notebook, Kramer vs. Kramer. Where the Red Fern Grows. These are some of the all-time saddest for me. All Quiet on the Western Front. It's truly tragic. Exemplifies the horrors of war. No one wins. Only children die, making old men rich. Does me watching The Phantom of the Opera at 11 and crying after for 3 hours until my sister was screaming at me to shut up count. If they ever make a film out of Metamorphosis, that shit would break so many people. So, Maybe Big Pharma does have plans for it. Precious. There was nothing good or wholesome that happened in that movie. Great film. I just never want to see it again. Schindler's List. Reddit. Also, I'd like to add Saving Private Ryan and the recent adaptation of All Quiet on the Western Front. Life is beautiful got to be made of stone if you're not moved by the ending. The Elephant Man, really no happy ending there. Reign over me. The courtroom scene gets me every time I watch this movie. Adam Sandler did great things on that movie. What Dreams May Come. It's happy, it's horrifyingly sad. It's just a cry fest for me, and it's absolutely beautiful. Any movie real based on a true story of cruelty and injustice, and no justice is served, or no happy ending. In 1 week one watched The Rider, Minari and Aftersun. 3 different kind of tears but all equally powerful. The Green Mile has me in tears every time. I'm tired, boss. Tired of everyone being ugly to each other. Grave of the Fireflies. Absolutely beautiful animation from Studio Ghibli, but emotionally devastating. I watched Grave of the Fireflies and felt just so damn depressed after. Is that the same as sad? I'm currently producing a short film of a day in my life. This will take the cake once completed. 9 days. Watched it at the cinema. No one moved at the end except to dry their eyes. Life is beautiful. A man plays a game with his son in a Nazi concentration camp. The road gutted me. I was still crying when I got home from the movie theater. It's not very prolific, but Marley and Me makes me ugly cry. The book did too. Grave of the Fireflies is like being hit with a baseball bat made of sadness. A Dog's Tale of Fireflies. 3. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas. Damn. It's a tie between the boy in the striped pajamas and Marley and Me. No one talks about this movie but the breadwinner. I cried like a baby. Not a film, but the episode of The Simpsons about Homer's childhood dog, The Fox and the Hound. For everyone who agrees, I'm sorry for the PTSD. Way too many millennial animated movies. Why was there so much misery? The Cure with Brad Renfro and Joseph Motzello. It gets me every time. La Bamba when Richie dies. His mother's reaction gets me every time. I feel crying every time I hear Hachiko or his movie, A Dog's Tale. Hearing the theme to Land Before Time will always make me choke up. Bridge to Terabithia. Beautiful Boy, the boy in the striped pajamas. Timely and relevant and kind of controversial. But Jojo Rabbit. Marley Me. I'll never watch it again. It's truly heartbreaking. It's not a sad movie, but I'm crying really hard watching Up. I have to agree with the others and say The Green Mile. So sad. $1 Million Baby. The best movie I never want to see again. That part in Shawshank Redemption when Brooks gets busy dying. Marley Me. It's not possible to watch this without bawling. As a big mama's boy, artificial intelligence, anybody else. It's such a beautiful day, makes me cry at the end every time. What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. It's sobbing sad. Strushek by Werner Herzog. Amazing film, but terribly sad. Requiem for a Dream. Melancholia. And The Virgin Suicides. Collateral Beauty, especially if you're older or a parent. The saddest movie I have personally seen is Interstellar. Everything Everywhere All at Once. For personal reasons. The Notebook. Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Green Mile. Marley and Me. The first few minutes of Up and Coco. OP's parents' wedding. Clearly that didn't end well.